It's 2020 and we're celebrating a new year, thinking of those resolutions for the year to come. However, on the other side of the world, the news isn't so great. There's a new outbreak of an unknown virus in China. In the city of Wuhan, those who are becoming ill seem to have a link to a local fish market. People are becoming seriously ill, and cases continue to rise and spread. The World Health Organization then announces that this is a new coronavirus. The news that no one wanted to hear, that the outbreak is a global pandemic. Testing ramps up around the world. Governments provide guidance to the best they can. Travel plans are halted. Despite these measures, more and more people become ill. We see our first case in the bubble of St. Andrews. Then,
we will beat the coronavirus, and we will beat it together. And therefore, I urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS, and save lives. Thank you.
For everyone, you must stay at home unless it is absolutely essential to go out, and that includes working from home wherever possible. Life should not feel normal for you right now, so if it is, then you are not doing the right things, and I want to ask you today to please put that right.
My job is working with the master's students in the School of Management. I'm the Director of Postgraduate Programs. So I have kind of oversight over the master's students and the 6 programs that we offer in the School of Management. And of course, immediately the thing that was affected was our ability to see our students, to meet with our students, to be with them face to face, which was a really big change. And it took a lot of getting used to. And of course, that continued across the summer, which would have been a time where we would have had a lot of face-to-face contact with our students. In particular, I would have been supervising their master's dissertations and meeting them one-on-one in my office and talking with them in depth about their research. And of course, none of that was possible. And so we very quickly had to make decisions about switching to using forms of technology we'd never used for teaching, like Teams, and actually in the first instance we used Zoom because at that point the university hadn't quite been clear about what was and wasn't allowed, and we were very fortunate because, well, and I was very fortunate actually because the teaching that I was doing in second semester for the university was very seminar based and lots of discussion, and because we'd already gotten to know each other, we sort of managed to move seamlessly onto the platform that we ended up using, and we still got fantastic participation from our students. We still had really meaningful discussions about the topics, and although it was a bit strange to all be on a screen and little squares rather than in person, we kind of made it work for us. In addition to my work at the university, I also work part-time as a Pilates teacher. I do that in my own time, mostly in the evenings after work, and of course immediately when we were no longer allowed to teach in person. In fact, even before it was official, I realized that I didn't want to put my clients at risk. And so I started teaching, and Pilates, actually, I teach on Zoom. And I've been teaching now for 7 months online, and it's been wonderful. It's been so wonderful just to know that I've helped people to continue to exercise, to feel good about their bodies, to feel good about themselves. And the fact that we've had that continued connection, we're used to seeing each other on a Tuesday night at 5:30 or on a Thursday night at 6:30. And the group of people that I teach, my clients, have really enjoyed that continued connection with each other and the chance to see each other throughout what has been a time of upheaval.
Outside of work, what were the most difficult parts of lockdown for you?
The absolute most difficult thing was that I have not been able to go and visit my mother in America, and she hasn't been able to come and visit me. And my mother's 85 years old, and I guess even just being 85 kind of puts her in a vulnerable group. I wouldn't want her to travel from the United States here. And, we haven't been able to, my daughter and I, neither of us have been able to go and see her. And without a doubt, that's been the most difficult thing. About 5 years ago, I decided that my priority would be to use my time off work, any kind of holiday time that I had, at least once a year to go and see my mother, and for her to come and see me, just because she's getting older and I want to make sure I see her as much as possible. So that has without a doubt been the most difficult thing, is not being able to see her. And I've got lots of brothers and sisters in America as well. I also travel a lot for my work, and I've not been able to do any traveling overseas. And of course, that's something that definitely is a real bonus for me. It's something I enjoy. It gives a bit of depth and breadth to my work, makes it more interesting. And I've not been able to do that either. So the lack of an ability to travel for personal and work reasons, I guess, is the thing that's been the most difficult to deal with during these times for me.
What were the positive perspectives or outcomes to come from your lockdown experience?
For me, the biggest positive, absolutely without a doubt, was that my daughter, who's 19 years old and is studying in Paris, came home in March. And she would have been in Paris at least through the spring, and she might have even decided to go and do an internship or something else in the summer. But she came home at the very start of lockdown in the UK. And in fact, I think a week before, because it started earlier in France. And she was with me throughout and stayed home with me. And it was just wonderful. It was like a gift. It was like a gift to have my daughter back. And I'm, trying not to be sad, thinking that now she's kind of flown the nest and it's unlikely that she'll be back with me for such a long, sustained period of time again. But we just enjoyed each other's company. And I think because she's a bit older now, we got along so well. And we walked and, exercised together and went to the beach and cooked meals and baked and did art projects and made beaded bracelets and were silly and watched movies and ate too many sweets and ice cream. And, we just did those mom and daughter things that are so special. And without a doubt, that was like a gift to have her here for that time.
What aspects from lockdown would you like to continue going forward?
We've learned a lot about using technology, and we could maybe now integrate that and use technology where it works better. There are definitely instances where technology works better than being in person or being face to face. So I think that's one thing we've learned, when technology is helpful and when it's not. So for example, one of the things that my Pilates clients have found is, for many of them, especially those with small children or those that live far away from St. Andrews, the ability to just walk into the next room, turn on your computer and exercise with a group of people live has been a real amazing thing for them. They don't have to travel, they don't have to find childcare, they don't have to rely on their partners or spouses to look after their kids. They can just go into the next room, put down a mat and exercise. So that's been a positive thing, learning where technology can benefit us. And I think I'm always the kind of person who's very busy. I take on lots of extra work, as you can tell, because I have a full-time job and another job. And I think this time has taught me to kind of slow down, to appreciate what I've got, and I've been spending a lot more time in my house, in my garden, and growing things in the greenhouse, because I've been here to water them, to look after them, and I've just really enjoyed, and I've been very lucky because I've got a beautiful house. It's near the sea and there's a lot of beautiful nature near me, places to walk and things to do. Even during the strictest lockdown, when we were allowed to go out, of course, I was lucky that I could just walk and get to the coastal path. The Fife Coastal Path is just here. And so definitely that learning to slow down, learning to appreciate what you've got and to make the most of your surroundings, that's really important. That and the technology together, I hope we can keep hold of that going forward.
If you're able to go back to the start of lockdown, what advice would you give yourself?
I guess the advice that I would, actually, if I could go back, I think I would make myself keep a journal. That's what I would have done. I'm not very good at that, and I haven't been keeping a journal even now. But I think we would all benefit from keeping notes of what we've done and looking back on them. So yeah, if I could go back, I would probably tell myself to keep a journal, even just a few lines on a page each day. You know, the things that were good, the things that were difficult, and how we overcame the difficulties. I think that would be what I would tell myself to do. The other thing to talk about a little bit is how important friends have been. I spoke about family, and family that's far away and family that's nearby. But yeah, I think this has also been a time when friends have really rallied around each other and helped each other and stepped in and, you know, shared baking and met up for walks when we were allowed, because that was all we were allowed to do. And, you know, sent each other recipes and funny stories. And, you know, just, I think I've been really very much appreciative of the support of my friends, and especially since my daughter, she's now gone back to Paris. And yeah, I think now I'm continuing on this journey now, kind of on my own, and very much appreciating the support of my friends and my family from a distance as well. That's the other thing actually that's happened is I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and we're close, but we're not in touch very much. And I think because one of my sisters was working from home, she also worked for a university in America. We've done a lot more FaceTiming, and we've seen a lot more of each other. It's funny, somehow this time prompted us to just make that extra effort to be in touch more. And oh, that's been wonderful. I feel closer to my sister now than probably ever before. So yeah, that's another important thing that's come out of this.